Hey guys, HDvee here and welcome to a brand new video. Now as we all know, the Indigo Disk DLC has a ton of references to the Unova region. Now we don't know if these are massive hints towards next year's potential Generation 5 remakes or they've just put them in there for fun. But either way, there are a lot of Easter eggs for the Generation 5 games and we're going to be going over all of them today. So if you're excited for the video, make sure to drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 500 likes, it really helps out. Leave a comment with any other Unova references that we missed in today's video. Subscribe if you're brand new, ring the notification bell. With all of that out of the way though, let's get into the video and I really hope that you enjoy. So starting things off, and probably the biggest reference to Unova in the Indigo Disk DLC is the fact that it is set in Unova. Now I don't know if this is just because the next Pokemon games are going to be like Black and White remakes or Black and White 3 or Legends Kyurem or just something related to Unova, or they've just taken us back there for whatever reason. Chronologically, the next remakes are going to be Gen 5, and that very well could be next year. So maybe it is just like a massive hint towards that, and then maybe some of the characters such as Lacey, Crispin, Drayton are all going to appear in next year's Pokemon games, especially if it's set in the future like a Black and White 3. Either way though, a massive reference. Another huge reference to the Generation 5 games in the Indigo Disk DLC is just the relations that the Blueberry Academy Elite Four members have to these Unova characters. The first one is of course Lacey. She has been confirmed to be Clay's daughter. In dialogue between you and Serrano, he actually says, to say nothing of the influence of her father, one of Unova region's famed gym leaders. We're just kind of guessing this is Clay as well because she obviously uses an Excadrill in the battle, and as well as that, she has gemstones in her hair, which of course are going to be related to Clay as well. So I don't know who her mother is going to be. Maybe it's a different Generation 5 gym leader or something like that. Some people think it's like Elisa and stuff. Potentially it is. We'll have to wait and see. Another relation between a Blueberry Academy Elite Four member and a gym leader in Generation 5 is of course Drayton. It has been confirmed that he is Drayden's grandson. We kind of knew this anyway really, but we now have actual confirmation. So in another dialogue between Hassel and Drayton, he does say, your grandfather Drayden informed me that you were forced to repeat a year of school. And then we have Drayton saying, yeah, thanks for letting the whole world know, Grandpa. So this confirms that, of course, they are related. This also opens up another question about Iris because she also says in the Generation 5 games that Drayden is her grandfather. So I don't know if they're like siblings or step-siblings or something like that. But there is clearly some sort of family tree going on there that hopefully we find out more information about. This next one isn't a massive reference to Unova. It's not as direct, but it could still be something. So basically, Crispin's name is a pretty massive hint towards him being related to the Striaton Gym triplets. All of their names start with C and are food related, being Cylon, Chili, and Cress. And now, of course, we have Crispin. So again, that might be some sort of reference, but it's not as direct as Lacey and Drayton. We also have other references to Unova gym leaders as well in the club room. So if you keep talking to Brassius, he basically mentions Berg and how they're similar trainers who are gym leaders and artists. He even goes as far to say that he paid a visit to Berg's gym during his time in Unova, even referencing the Black and White 2 gym puzzles where you slide in the silicone webs. Another reference in this vein comes from your history teacher, mentioning how she yearns to see the desert ruins off of Route 4. So again, a lot more references to different characters and locations in Unova from these different people in the Indigo Disk. Another massive reference for Unova in the Indigo Disk DLC is just the sheer amount of Generation 5 music that they use in the Indigo Disk. The amount of remixes that you can find, like wild battle music, trainer battle music. There's so many different musical kind of pieces taken from the Generation 5 games and remixed and put into the Indigo Disk. It was so cool playing it for the first time and then just like noticing all of these different pieces of music. But yeah, I mean, I guess that obviously it is set in Unova, so you're probably going to get Unova music, but it's still a massive reference to the Unova games. Another big reference to Unova in the Indigo Disk DLC is the Nature Preserve. If you go to this location in the Indigo Disk, you will notice something very, very similar if you have played the Generation 5 games. A Haxorus even spawns here as well. Unfortunately, this time it isn't shiny, but it does have a terrestrialized state. This is a humongous reference to Unova, and I love the fact that they included this in the Indigo Disk DLC. It's a massive shout out to the Generation 5 games. Coming up next, another big reference to the Unova games is the actual new Pokemon Archaludon. This Pokemon clearly resembles the Sky Arrow Bridge or some sort of bridge in the Generation 5 games, As well as that, Drayton uses it as one of his Pokemon in his team, which of course we already know is a reference to Generation 5 in itself. It's also a Dragon Pokemon as well, which is another reference to Drayden. Just the fact that they use this Pokemon that literally has a look of a bridge, especially when it attacks as well, it's just a massive reference to the Generation 5 games and potentially future Generation 5 games as well. Another big reference to Generation 5 games is the actual Meloetta encounter in the Indigo Disk DLC. This is a massive throwback to Pokemon Black and White in the way that you actually get this Pokemon. Now, as we all know, you have to go to a specific spot where the wind is blowing. You have to spin around a few times because that is what some of the NPCs tell you in the Indigo Disk. But the fact that you have to use the sepia camera feature is a throwback to this character here in the Unova games, where he said, "A long ago melody from the fringes of my sepia-toned memories." So the fact that this is a reference to how you obtain Meloetta in the Indigo Disk DLC is absolutely crazy. I love the fact that they went this far into the Generation 5 games, like references to kind of bring it into the present day Pokemon games. A massive throwback to Pokemon Black and White. The next reference to potential Black and White remakes that we're going to be going over in today's video are the new Paradox Pokemon. Now, of course, we all know that the Swords of Justice have gotten Paradox forms, which are, of course, the legendary Pokemon in the Generation 5 games, being Virizion, Cobalion, and Terrakion. But as well as that, the legendary beasts also got Paradox forms too. Now, a lot of people think this might be a reference to the Johto games, and it very well could be, but we also know that the legendary beasts had an in-game event for Zoroark in Pokemon Black and White 1 and 2, alongside a movie that they also all appear in as well. So there is actually quite a bit of a relation to the Generation 5 games with the legendary beasts. Another big reference to Unova in the Indigo Disk DLC is, of course, Chargestone Cave. This is a massive location in the Generation 5 games, and it is also a massive location in the Indigo Disk DLC. This is literally screaming Unova at us. Certain Pokemon as well, like Joltik and Galvantula, also appear here, but the fact that they've included this is just a massive replica shout out to the Chargestone Cave that we find in the Generation 5 games. It's a really cool location to explore. I'm really happy they decided to keep this in the Indigo Disk and kind of make a replica of it. But yeah, big fan of this reference for the Generation 5 games. Another big reference to the Generation 5 games in the Indigo Disk is one of the club rooms. Now, if you go to the monochrome club room and actually explore it, there are a ton of references to Unova. Starting things off, there is obviously the White Forest and Black City images on the wall. They're like paintings, or I don't know if it's just artwork or something like that. But of course, that's a massive reference to Pokemon Black and White 2. We also have a Minccino just chilling there as well, which of course is a Generation 5 Pokemon. There are also artworks of Blitzel, Dino, and Minccino on the wall as well, right next to the item printer, all Generation 5 Pokemon. As well as that, we have the Ferris wheel that can be found in Nimbasa City. There's like a small toy replica of that as well, which again is another reference to Unova. And next up, we also have a ton of paintings as well of different Generation 5 Pokemon, and also the starter Pokemon as well, being Emboar, Samurott, and also Superior as well. So the fact that we've even got the starters on the wall as well is also a pretty cool reference. And as well as that, if you go all the way to the other side of this club room, you can also see a Sky Arrow bridge with a Golurk kind of flying across it, which is again another massive reference to the Unova games. This club room just screams Generation 5 remakes, and I love the fact that they've included so many things in this. That's not the only one though. We have another club room that also showcases different images from the Pokestar Studios, as well as like the Tyranitar and stuff like that. So I'm sure there are other Generation 5 references in other club rooms that people just haven't seen yet, but these are like the main major ones that are, like I say, screaming Generation 5 remakes. Another massive reference to Unova in the Indigo Disk DLC is just shiny locking all of the legendary Pokemon. Obviously, shiny locks were introduced in Generation 5, and so what better way to kind of give us a massive Generation 5 remake hint than just to shiny lock all of the legendaries and static encounters in the Indigo Disk. Of course, that is just a joke. I thought it was quite a funny one to kind of end today's video with though, because I'm pretty sure everybody's hating these shiny locks just as much as everyone hated them when they originally created shiny locks in the Generation 5 games. But just a quite a funny one to end on there. But either way, that is everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please do consider hitting the like button down below. Let's try and hit 500 likes. It does really help out. Leave a comment with your thoughts on all of my Unova references. Also, let me know if you found any others as well. I'm pretty sure there's more like dialogue and stuff like that from different characters that scream Unova remakes that I've missed in today's video. So let me know any of those that you've come across. Obviously, subscribe if you're brand new for daily Pokemon content. Ring the notification bell. That's everything from me, though. Have a great rest of your day, and until next time, peace.